Hey guys, it's Cece, and today I'm here to talk about the books that I want to read in the month of March. So it is a new month, it is time to pick new books to read, and for the second month in a row, I am participating in a month-long, readathon. It's happening again. I am participating in Emojiathon! This will be my second time participating in Emojiathon. The first time was last year in June, and so I'm doing it again. I'm really excited about it. This readathon has a lot of hosts, and I will leave all of their channels linked down in the description below. Be sure to go and check all of them out, and I will also leave the full list of challenges in the description below because there are a whole lot of them. So the thing about Emojiathon is that there are a ton of challenges, but it's kind of a lighter reading challenge situation. You can choose as many or as few of them as you would like to complete. You can double up on challenges, but the new thing that they have added this version of Emojiathon is a bingo board. The bingo board is also 100% optional, so I'm kind of using the bingo board, but also kind of not. I have a few books that I know will give me a bingo, and then the rest are just kind of random challenges for the rest of Emojiathon that I'm interested in completing. So with all of that in mind, let's go through the stack. I have a rather large stack of books that I want to finish reading this month. I'm going to try to tell you all of the challenges that any of these given books could be for, but really, it's not gonna matter until I get to the end of the month and I cross off all my bingo squares and see how I'm doing. Let's just get into it. It is time for Emojiathon. So the first book on my TBR for the month is a book that I didn't finish reading last month, and that is Akata Witch by Nnedi Okorafor. I only have about 40 pages of this left. I'm going to finish it as soon as I finish filming today, so I'm just kind of throwing this up here to let you know. I'm working on it. I'm almost done. This is a middle grade book about a girl named Sunny who was born in America, but then when she was 9, she moved to Nigeria. She is albino and has always felt herself sort of separated from the rest of her peers, and then one day she finds out why, and it's because she has this latent magical ability. So once she is introduced to the world, then she has to learn her skills, befriend new people. It's a lot of fun. It's really interesting because it's like middle grade fantasy that is not Eurocentric, and I don't get the chance to read that very often. It has been so fascinating to read about a new magical world completely set in Nigeria with a lot of new and fascinating rules that I've never seen before. So that is what I am currently reading. I don't know what this could count as a challenge for. Maybe my free space, since I'm not reading that much of it in March, but there's book 1. Next up, we have a couple of books from my top 12 to read TBR for the year. I didn't read one in February, so I'm reading 2 in March to catch up with my number. The first of which is Everything I Never Told You by Celeste. I was supposed to read this last month, and then it took until the very end of the month for my hold to come through at the library, so it just didn't happen. This is a book that is set in the 1970s in Ohio, and it is about a Chinese-American family when the most beloved daughter of the family is found dead, and what that does to the various other members of her family, from her siblings to her parents to the community around her. This could be for a number of different Emojiathon challenges, but the one I'm thinking about reading it for is a book that everyone has been telling me to read. Everyone's been telling me to read this. It's time. Another book from my top 12 TBR is On the Edge of Gone by Corinne Duyvis. This is a YA sci-fi book about a girl named Denise, and it is 2035 and a comet is going to hit Earth and it's going to destroy everything. So Denise is trying to get her mother and her sister to a shelter, but when it seems like that's not going to happen, they stumble upon another option. They happen upon a generation ship which could give them a chance, but Denise doesn't know if she's going to be accepted on board. She is autistic and she's worried that that's going to hurt her chances, and she also doesn't know if she'll be able to get her mother and sister on board either. I've been really excited to read this. I've been trying to read more sci-fi lately, and so this is just like another foray into sci-fi, especially sci-fi that features actual diverse main characters. This is an Own Voices book. Corinne also is autistic, and she's the one who created the Own Voices hashtag, so I've really wanted to read something by this author. This book I'm reading for the sci-fi challenge. It could also count as the diverse book challenge, but honestly most of the books I'm reading could count for that challenge, so just assume I'm going to be able to cross off the diverse book challenge. I am also going to be rereading a book in March, and that is Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. I am rereading this in preparation for the movie Love, Simon to come out in the next couple of weeks. I've actually already seen the movie. I saw it at the end of January at an early screening. It was amazing. I cried through the entire movie. It was everything that I've ever hoped it could be. but I want to reread the book and then go see the movie again so I can do kind of like a video discussing them, how they go together, how they're different. So it's been a little while since I've read this, and Janelle has had my copy, so I just got it back from her when I saw her in February. I was gonna read this anyway, whether or not I participated in Emojiathon, but there is a challenge to read a book that has been adapted, and this book is going to be adapted. I've already seen the movie, it's great, so fits perfectly. There's also a challenge to read a book that you have started and not finished, and for that I am going to be reading The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. I've had this book for a while already because I had it as an early ebook, but I've been having a really hard time focusing on the ebook. I think I need something more physical. I don't think fantasy works for me as an ebook. It's just not. I need something that's going to really make me focus, and I also need to not be reading it at work. I think that's the real problem. By the way, look at how beautiful this owl crate cover of The Hazelwood is with its green. So I'm reading this because it is a book that I started and then stopped and haven't finished, but also there is a challenge to read a book with your favorite color on the cover, and my favorite color is green. This book is entirely green. This is a super dark fantasy book with an incredibly unlikable protagonist that I was absolutely loving when I was reading it, and so I'm really glad to be getting back into it, and that's all I'm gonna say. I hope that I continue to really, really love it, because I was really liking it when I was reading it a few weeks ago. We also have Release by Patrick Ness. I am going to be buddy reading this with Dylan, who is one of the hosts of Emojiathon. He's already read this book, he's rereading it, and I kind of need someone who's already read this book to motivate me through it. There are just so many differing reviews of this book, and I'm really intimidated by the fact that this is split into two different stories, so I just decided that I needed Dylan's motivation to help me get through this. This book is all set over one day, and it is about a boy named Adam. Feels like his life is kind of falling apart around him, so it is about like his personal story on this day, dealing with his incredibly religious father, dealing with his current maybe boyfriend, but also there's another story, and it's just like in the description it just says, across town, a ghost has just risen from the lake, and that's all you kind of get of the other story that's mixed in. It's been a while since I've read something new by Patrick Ness. For a while, he was one of my favorite authors, and so I would love to really enjoy this. And I'm hoping that I enjoy buddy reading it with Dylan and that he can help me get through it a little bit. Second to last, we have Nevada by Imogen, Binnie, and this is going to be for the challenge to read a book that features travel. This is set over a road trip. So this could also fit for a book I've really wanted to read and haven't yet but don't know why challenge. That's also on there. This book is about Maria, a young trans woman who's been living in New York City, and when she finds out that her girlfriend has been lying to her, she kind of ends up going on this road trip. Whatever happens on this road trip kind of changes who she is, helps her understand herself more deeply, and it is an Own Voices book that I have been absolutely desperate to read. I've heard incredible things about it, and I think it is finally time for me to read it. And the final book for this TBR is Bygone Badass Broads, 52 Forgotten Women Who Changed the World by Mackenzi Lee. This was also on my February TBR, and I didn't actually finish it, but now I have it. It came, the publisher sent it to me, and I really do want to read it. This is for the challenge to read a nonfiction book, and this is, I mean, it's pretty much there in the title. It's just about 52 women who have changed the world. It comes with illustrations, and it just kind of covers these ladies and gives you more information about them. So I'm really excited to read it. I have loved following Mackenzi's Twitter series, Bygone Badass Broads, and so I think I'm going to love her book as well. Okay, this was kind of a long TBR, but that's all of the books that I am going to talk about. I am also going to be reading some ebooks this month, maybe 2, that would be great, because I read them on my phone at work on the Kindle app, so I'm not going to talk about any of those books that I'm going to be reading, but they are all arcs that I have been sent that I'm going to be gradually getting through, and maybe those will check off a few of the Emojiathon goals as well. Are you participating in Emojiathon? Let me know down in the comments below, and let me know what you think of my personal TBR. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye!